a month later,
I was gonna say that's not the only time you make.
no.
Kelly
So then a month later, now we do this road trip, and it's the same one with the soap porcelain sign, but it was the Boston bombing year. It was 2013.
He was in the marathon.
Oh,
Yeah, and so it was my first Boston. I'd qualified before, but it's the first time that it actually worked to go. And so anyway, I was, and how that worked is I don't run that one well because it's in April and you have to train in Minnesota in the winter, which is really hard. And so I've only done it twice now, but it's the worst marathon by far for me, just because you just can't get ready. Yeah, you just can't get ready for it. I can't. But anyway, I had finished and I was just sort of watching. I went and got my bag. And that you check at the beginning and you pick it up. I got that and I was eating my banana and everything and just sort of watching from about a block away, all the people come in. And all of a sudden I heard and I saw the smoke. I heard the explosion in the smoke and I was this close, like, to Ethan. I said to this police, I said, is that supposed to do that? And he goes, because I thought, it's Patriots Day, and my first time there, I thought it's, just random cannon fire because it's Patriots Day. And he goes, well, they've never done that before. And you couldn't see, because there was just heads, but again, it was just a block away.
Wow.
And then the next one, I don't know, 6 seconds, whatever it was later, it went again. And then he and everybody else got the radio call. And it went from just this celebration, just elation, just to a war zone. I mean, just the smoke and the sirens and the everything shut down. And nothing would work. The cell phones wouldn't work. The subway wouldn't. Nothing.
Wow.
It was just.
What you do then directly after?
Well, then I had then that you couldn't get. You couldn't get anywhere where that happened, and not that I would want to. But we had it set up, because again, my brother and my friend were there, but now they couldn't get. They had to go a long ways around to get to where the meeting. You always set up like a meeting place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really just sort of had to sit there, while all this chaos is going on, and because again, nothing would work, and my phone, actually, my wife was tracking me, and then but it was. Just the sweat, I think it was like mile 21 or something, it just died. It just stopped working.
Wow.
And so, and then that happened, and people were calling her, and she didn't know what was going on. And then finally, I don't know if it was Kenny, finally they were able to get a hold of her and let her know that I was fine. And finally they came to where I was, and we flagged. There's Dunkin' Donut on every other corner, and we were waiting there. And I told Sparky, go out and flag down. And somebody stopped, and we just paid them $40 to get us to where our car, where they stopped, because they dropped me off, and then they took a subway. And so we had to get to where the car was. And as we're getting out of town, it was for miles and miles. There was just all the rescue vehicles coming in from all over the place.
It's just something else to hear a first-hand account.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. Well, and what are the odds, Mike, that you saw the actual guys that did it that day?
Yeah. Well, actually, you can maybe Damon and you can see the flags right there on that picture. That's where, that's like the kill zone. Where the flags and everything. If you look at some of the footage,
Wow.
So, but anyway. Yeah, so when I got home, because talking about this, so I get home and I think it was we went to Culver's, and that's where my wife and kids and everything met us, and that's when she said, "Okay, you're not," because now this is 2 trips in a month.
Yeah.
That were like near death, kind of things.
That's
She's okay.
crazy.
You're not going.
Mike, you're not going anywhere for a year.
No, you're not going anywhere again.
Wow.
So
Well,
That's why you get to collect all this stuff.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's so many questions that come into my head about the Boston Marathon thing, because that was a huge thing, like in the United States. That was a huge terrorist attack. And just the fact that you were right there during the whole thing blows my mind. And you were in the newspapers and stuff, right? Like there was.
Just around here.
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah.
Yeah, where they would ask about it and things like that. Not out there,
No.
Good.
No, I meant like around the area, because you were. I don't know how many people were from Minnesota that ran in the Boston Marathon. I don't know if they keep track of that, or if you were the only one that you knew from the area that ran in it, or if you knew anybody else that was there.
I don't. I'm sure there were others, but I don't know. who they are, So, but yeah, it was just a very surreal kind of thing when you think back. It's like, so I would have ran by them as they're walking in the crowd with
To
their
kinda
bags.
set it up.
Yeah, I had to go because it was, I don't know if it's 15, 20 minutes that I was done. Well, that's exactly when they would have been doing that, Yeah, so it could have been me, or it could have been, it could have been so much worse. And the funny thing with that I'm sure they didn't even think about, but at the finish line of a major marathon is probably the highest concentration of medical workers you can get.
Yep.
And that's where it went off. So
Yeah.
instantly you have ambulances and doctors and nurses and paramedics. I mean, everybody's there.
Yep.
And so that really
saved a lot of
that
people.
really cut down on the casualties.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah.
Just for you to hear that though, and to see the smoke and everything, and did that cop just take off after he was done talking?
No,
to you?
it was they didn't. I mean, they were just, everyone was just.
No one
What do
really
you
knew
what do you
was on.
do?
Not until we got the call or the radio, probably.
Yeah, and the
Well,
the
they
thing
didn't
too.
even know what was probably going on at first.
Well, and the thing too is it goes in waves. Like you're in corrals. They don't start them all because it's I forget if it's 30,000 or 40,000 people, and so. Anyway, there was people. They just cut the marathon off. It was just
because
done.
people were still probably running. And
Yeah,
like,
and,
what's
well,
going on?
there was people all the way back, 13 miles, and it was just done. So just think, you've been training for months, and it's probably a lifelong dream
to run that. Yeah.
because you have to qualify. I mean, it's not everybody can't do it. Everybody wants to, or most people, serious runners want to, but they can't. I know I'm probably away. But anyway, and so they just, when we got dropped off to find our car, I just got done doing the marathon. So Sparky went and ran, and he just wait here, so I didn't have to walk around anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to some people that were just sort of meandering around, and I said, so what's up? Well, we're trying to find our family member,
Oh my gosh.
because again, no cell phones,
No.
all their belongings they checked at the starting line, and they were going to pick them up at the finish, and then they wouldn't let anybody get those, because then they wanted to check all those for bombs.
Yep.
And so the people of Boston, they housed lots of people, and it was just
Because they didn't know
like
if there was
refugees.
Gonna be, yeah.
They
They didn't know if there was going to be more attacks going
Yeah.
on or whatever.
Yeah.
If there was just two.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's
And
unbelievable.
you ran it
that's-
again then, Mike, right?
Yeah, the 4 years later, I did it. I did it in
17.
17, and it wasn't eventful like that.
No.
But the same for me. Just the amount that I can prepare.
Yeah.
It's almost like clockwork about how much slower I'm going to be than the qualifying time to get there.
Did you
So-
beat your time from the first time when you ran the second time?
No, it was. I mean, they were very close. I mean, they were within seconds of each
really?
other. Really,
Wow.
yeah. Because
Did you clear your head of the incident when you're running, or did you flash back and think about
Oh,
it? a lot when
you
you're-
think about it,
like,
but
what kind of thoughts are,
yeah, but it was more. I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen again.
Well, no, yeah.
But just you just take it in even more, and like you guys are talking about it, it's like it was right there, and
Yeah.
and actually when we were there the second time, there's like almost little memorials like where they went off, where there's and there's a lot of Boston strong, and a lot more security.
Oh, yeah.
a lot more everything.
Yeah, because it never happened before.
no.
Nothing like that has ever happened, like a bombing at an event.
No,
like
and that's
that.
so.